Instead of asking questions like, why doesn't he like me, or does he even like me, we should be asking, and she should have been asking, why can't I see what is clearly being portrayed to me through this man's actions? This is the analysis of Brittany and Devontae, Devonta, whatever that black man name is, who don't want to be black. Today, we are going to talk about how desperation can blind us and how to stop doing that. In 2026, reclaim your standards. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Whitney Marie, and here is the home of soft glam and hard truths, where we bridge the gap between aesthetics and inner work, sharing the lessons that I've learned and am still learning to help you master the art of becoming your own favorite person. Let's get into it. On Love is Blind this season, we saw a woman that was obviously beautiful, smart, intelligent, constantly chasing a man who told her more than 12 times over several weeks that he was not interested in her. Yet she continued and persisted. Let's get into it. Brittany and Devontae's foundation in the pods was built on assumptions. I think for one, he assumed she was a white woman. He thought that voice gave Caucasian, and he was into it, okay? He didn't know on the other side it was a Latina, okay? Spicy tamale. He had no clue. But after seeing the exposure through when they see each other, when they first come out of the pods, it was very, very evident that the expectation and the excitement that he once had completely evaporated. Mind you, this woman is gorgeous, okay? I saw somebody say on TikTok, she is not Ohio. She's not supposed to be in the state of Ohio. No shade to my Ohioans. My best friend went to Xavier, okay? So I love the Ohioans. However, that girl can give in LA and Miami, Houston. She can battle with the baddies over there. There was no reason that she needed to be in Ohio. Okay, boom. Now, visually, I said she's very South Beach, LA, whatever. But Devonta, his hesitation really wasn't about her. It was his own issues reconciling his low racial self-esteem. This is a man whose mother is white, father is black. He mentioned several times on the show, golly gee whiskers, how many times he's seen his daddy. His daddy don't come in his life. He came to a football game, didn't speak to him. It's a lot of trauma, okay, with the black side of his racial identity. So his comment once they came out of the pods, when he said, I've never dated a woman of color, I've never dated something like that, I think his exact words verbatim was, first of all, something like that is crazy, because this man looks like a Teletubby. And I'm not saying that, no shade, no tea, but like, sir, have you seen yourself and have you seen her? But you know what? Everybody's insecurities are their own. I'm not here to judge, okay? I'm just saying what we saw, okay? And we seen that. My next point is going to focus back on Brittany, because she is the perfect type of woman for Love is Blind. She has the perfect mix of desperation, beauty, seemingly intelligence, and delusion that Love is Blind probably was eating it up. Like, oh, she want to be married so bad. She's already purchased a wedding dress. She's only, 32, and said that she's been waiting such a long time to get married that it really didn't matter who the hell was on the other side of that wall. She wanted to be married, and that was her sole goal. And because of that, every time Devontae, Devo, the baby would say something to her that was intended to really get her to push away, she would cling closer. So, for example, he starts off with not being physically affectionate, not verbally affectionate. He's not communicating that she thinks she's beautiful or pretty or that she looks nice. She confronts him. He says, my granddaddy died. We need to see the obituary, but okay, cool. Okay. My granddaddy died. I'm going to try. You're not speaking to me. Sometimes I need my alone time. This is the conversation between the two of them. Okay. So one, he's not showing that he's attracted at all. Two, he's not even trying to spend time with you, asking you questions. Three, brings it back up multiple times, and they have like this scene where they're crying or she's crying rather. And he's like, no, I'm going to do better. And just all these like false promises without any real action. I think the nail in the coffin was because she has this fantasy of like marriage and family life. When she saw him with her family, she was like, oh, this is it. this this is it. Like he didn't, my daddy liked him, and that daddy was not giving the appropriate like he should have seen through the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Devontae, the baby, he was not that good of a cosplayer to get past them 6 people in that house. But she was so focused on the role of being a wife. And I talk a lot about, I want women to stop looking at wife as like this role. Like, I am here to cosplay this role that society has told me that I'm supposed to be doing. And this is what so she's so focused on that. Okay. The end goal is wife, not being in a loving partnership, not finding somebody that actually likes you. She's so focused on being this man's wife and wife alone that she didn't realize that she was interviewing with a man that didn't even want to hire her. Okay. Man's last attempt at getting her to back down, because he was trying the entire 6 weeks or however many weeks, was, he said, it was like a day before the wedding. Let's give it 2-3 days before the wedding max. I think it was only like a day or two though. He says, I want a prenup, which, ladies, nothing is wrong with a prenup unless there is a man that is abusive, does not really like you like that, and is using it as a means to control you or leave you with nothing. You can have a prenup that is sound, that is supportive of you, that makes sure that you have the financial means, not only to make sure that he continues to, especially if you have children, maintain that lifestyle for you and your children, but also to protect your assets, okay? Because it's a lot of homeless, jobless men out here that are preying upon my girlies. So prenup aside, he presents it. She's like, I wish you didn't say this like the day before the wedding or whatever. But she's like, okay, basically she cool with it. Like, whatever. This man probably like, dang. He literally is probably like, this girl won't go away. The next time we see them on our screen is they're back on that couch, the prenup couch. Okay. So they at her house. Okay. And she's doing a lot of the talking. She's explaining to him, I suppose, but also to us and herself, that they're not going to move forward. They're not going to move forward because they're not ready. The baby's not ready. At the end of this whole ridiculous monologue that she gives, where she says he's like Christ, y'all are under spells. Please release from the shackles. I mean, my God. He's like Christ. It made me so mad. And it's why I do what I do, because are y'all okay? I want to shake her. I wanted to shake her like. And at the end of the conversation, they sitting on the couch and he's like, okay, I'll be in touch. What? No. She was still not getting it. She was just crying. She's like, we're going to be back in love. Y'all were never in love. Y'all were nowhere near the love. And I think that's the part that's throwing me so bad, because it's like, girl, no, y'all wasn't there, Bookie. Ugh. And I know y'all probably like, Whitney, please. But watching it back, it's very easy for us to judge and be like, girl, stand up, get up. But I want to be really honest that this is not a Love is Blind problem. This happens it's happening right now. You could be the person that's happening to. You could know somebody that is happening to. You might not even know it's happening because they're not being honest about what's going on in their relationship and in their life, but it happens all day, every day. Every 12 seconds, a woman is getting duped and mishandled. That's me data. That's the data that I know. This is a psychological pattern where the desire for the outcome far outweighs the actual reality of what's happening. Before I move on, there is another Love is Blind commentary that I posted that talked a little bit about Tyler and Kevon, and specifically when she stormed out of the pods and preemptive strike and why we attempt to do the rejecting before being rejected. If you're interested in it, please go back and watch that. All right, back to the show. So let's quickly break down why she fell into this trap and how we have all been there, and then we'll get into how we can stop. Point number one, the investment. Okay, this is what people will typically call the sunk cost fallacy. So we mistake time spent with love earned. The more Brittany invested, and I'm do air quotes because it was only 6 weeks, but this can apply to everybody. The more that she probably felt she needed to win, the goal, like get the goal, get the outcome. But like I mentioned in psychology, this is the sunk cost fallacy. And she really wasn't fighting for him anymore. She was fighting for it to make sense. She was fighting for it to continue. She was fighting to make her own narrative make sense to her. If she admitted that he didn't like her, then she would have had to admit that she wasted her time or that she might have been a little bit like blind or dumb. And a lot of the times we may choose pain over or wanting to be wrong. Like, I can't be wrong. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. If I do this, if I act this way, if I hold on, if I am understanding, if I am supportive, if I am all these things that this person has mentioned that they need, then we should be fine, right? No. The second point is going to be selective listening. Selective listening. When we are desperate for a specific outcome, we do something where we filter out all the negative data. He ain't mean it like that, girl. I don't think he meant that. I asked him if he thought I was pretty. He said he thought I was pretty, so he thinks I'm pretty. Hello? You had to fish for that. People that find you attractive, people that like you, you do not have to fish for compliments or feeling like you are attractive to them. So when she's clawing at it, trying to figure out, she's like, but I asked him and he said, no. You shouldn't have to ask. You shouldn't have to beg. Okay? That's the negative data. When he said, I'll be in touch, she hears, oh yeah, we're going to get back to it. When he says, let's get a prenup, she hears, oh, he's being practical because he makes a lot of money, allegedly. She is literally performing mental gymnastics to keep this idea alive. She's jumping through hoops in her own mind to convince herself that it is what it is. When in reality, to me, it would be too painful to accept that she had been trying to be somebody's wife for many, many years. Let's assume it was like 8 to 10 years. She's 32. 8 to 10 years she's been trying to get married, okay? She gets on this show with the intent to get married. She gets out of the pods and realizes that this man still does not want to marry her. For a woman particularly to be insecure and have that happen is earth-shattering, truly. So I can understand why she would want to continue playing these games with herself and not seeing clearly that that man did not want her. It creates a newer, safer version so that we don't have to face the rejection. That's what we do to protect ourselves. How do we stop this from happening to us? How do we do that? There are 3 ways that we can begin to cultivate this emotional discernment. And I really want y'all to take this in. So the first is using your action over words filter. This is so important. Words are cheap, especially if the words are after you had to ask for clarity. Understood? We have to stop editing people's behavior. If his words are saying, I love you, I want to be with you, but his actions show and prove that you are a constant inconvenience to him and he prioritizes himself over you time and time again, that is the reality. Actions over words filter. You stop asking yourself, does he like me? And ask yourself, does he show me that he is interested in me? People that are interested in me ask questions about me. People that are interested in me will actively go out of their way to schedule time with me. Okay? You shouldn't be begging like, oh, we're supposed to be going on a date. No. Stop. Number 2, I want y'all to kill the investment fallacy. Remember, we talked about sunk cost fallacy. I want you to kill the investment fallacy. Do not let your past efforts dictate your future, okay? You may have spent 10, 12 years with a man, and you finally, one day you woke up, boom. One day you woke up. Just because you spent them 10, 12 years does not mean you got to spend another 10. In fact, I want you to think about it like, if I were to spend another 10, how would my life be? And I promise you, it ain't going to be good. All right? And the last one is practicing what I like to call radical detachment. This goes specifically to what we do here on this channel, is becoming your own favorite person before you even enter the arena. You become unbaitable when you realize that you don't need somebody's choice to validate your worth. You become untouchable, unbotherable. Before you enter a relationship, before you enter dating, if you can't answer the question, am I coming into this already giving me myself the things that I'm looking for someone else, you're already on the wrong part of the line. I am not saying that you have to be fully healed in order to seek or get a successful relationship. As a matter of fact, that's probably not even the best way to do it. We can talk about that if you're interested. However, if the answer is, I might need someone else's approval, I might need a little bit of validation that I am smart, beautiful, intelligent, and worthy, you need to get out the game, coach. And that's just me telling you, sister to sister. I know that we've all had massive red flags where we have completely ignored it. And then, you look back, hindsight 2020, and you're like, well, damn. I know I've had many red flags that I've ignored in my past. And I'm very proud to say that I don't do that anymore. But I'm curious, what's one red flag that you may have ignored after you left? And you was like, why the hell? Why did I do that? I'm curious to know. Let's talk about it in the comments. If you found this breakdown helpful, let me know. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. We'll be doing this type of work every week with a little mix of fashion, skincare, luxury, etc. But we're going to continue doing the inner work, and I will see you here next week. Bye, girls.